what is a treatment for receptive negative breast cancer? Well, what we're talking about is people who have breast cancer who are not receptive to estrogen. Most of the breast cancers suffered today in great part by women, but a growing group of men contracting breast cancer are estrogen active or estrogen sensitive cancers. When one is not estrogen sensitive, there's not a whole lot of difference between what one would be told to do. First, we'll address both. One who's not estrogen sensitive does not have to be as particular as one who is estrogen sensitive. Where we get the estrogens from today are environmental toxins and pollutants, most notably pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides, but equally as damaging, if in some cases not more, would be the wearing of polyester clothes, man-made fibers, etc. Air pollution, water pollution, all of these put chemicals in our body that mimic estrogens. When that happens, the estrogen starts to complicate the hormonal balance of the system, and mutagen, or cells that are not doing what they ought to, mutagenic cells, start to develop. We call those cancers. So, of course, removing those chemicals are absolutely a necessity with estrogen sensitive, but why not with non-receptive cancers? What we would be suggesting for people, and have seen work for over 50 years at Hippocrates, is people eat a 100% green living food Hippocrates diet that has absolutely no fruit, juices, or sugary foods, including carrot juice and beet juice involved. One would be taking supplements directed towards boosting the immune system, such as Life Give Life 1, Natural Cellular Defense. Some of the most common ones you see out in the marketplace there, SCACT, and sometimes, most times, we vary this. You would take one for a short period and then another for another time period. The reason for this is that you want to constantly be pursuing your immune system and having it work and function at different states and different levels. So that's the dietary end. We'd also strongly suggest the use of far infrared saunas. And if one has cancers of the breast or any form of cancer, as is used in Asia for cancer treatment in allopathic medicine, heating the body temperature up by far infrared technology, saunas that are now relatively inexpensive and you can put in your homes, or as a community, purchase one and have it in one person's home and be able to utilize it as a community or a neighborhood. What this does is raise the temperature, and the studies that have been done out of Germany with hyperthermia, even here in the United States with a colleague of mine, Dr. Coyne, show that once you've heated the temperature up 1 degree, it starts to kill cancers, and also, let's add, viruses, rhino and retro, and every form of bacteria that's ever been tested. It's also something that I choose to do 7 days a week. No matter where I am in the world traveling, and certainly here at home, I am taking saunas. And after one gets on this bandwagon and routine, you don't feel clean, literally, unless you take saunas. So both to clean out disorder and help to retard and eliminate it, as well as to clean up the human anatomy, would be the reason for that. Next, and probably most important, is attitude. Every person I've ever worked with, the thousands and thousands I've seen conquer cancer and heal themselves, they've maintained an attitude that was extremely positive. And what that means in a nutshell is that they had a reason to live. They saw themselves 10 and 20 and 30 years down the road. They saw themselves positively producing valuable things, not only for themselves and their own life, but for humanity. They saw themselves in loving and whole relationships. So attitude is fundamental. I wrote a book some 15 years ago called Belief, All There Is. And I still very much believe that myself. It's your belief system that allows you to heal or not. It allows you to eat properly or not. It allows you to exercise. Exercise is a powerful component on flushing the system. I went and spent some time with a colleague, Dr. Kenneth Cooper. Many of you may know him. He's the man that gave us the word aerobics. He's the leading authority worldwide on the research of exercise and the benefits it holds for health and longevity. In his office, we spent time directly focused on the importance of aerobic exercise in the healing process. We came up with a mathematical table that confirmed that when a person does consistent aerobic exercise and normal aerobic exercise, what is normal, you may be saying? He established after 30 years of diligent work that all of us, no matter who we are, must be at least minimally doing 35 minutes of heart-pounding aerobic exercise 5 days a week. That's minimum. Of course, other research has shown us, as well as his, that if you did an hour, you gain over 3.5 times the benefit. And that goes back and relates to a study he conducted some 17 or 18 years ago that showed that the body's heart doesn't really get to maximum pump until 28 minutes. So if 28 to 35 is only 7 minutes, but let's imagine we add an extra 25 minutes on top of that. We're at 32 minutes of maximum heart rate. From all that I've just said, we've established that you can detoxify poisons, waste, heavy metals, etc. out of the human anatomy 8 times better when you're doing the Living Food program with aerobic exercise than if you just do the Living Food program without aerobic exercise. A book I wrote, and it came out about 1.5 years ago, Longevity. Actually, 3.5 years of research I did provided for me some very interesting research that showed that weightlifting exercise literally reduced dementia, memory loss, by 50%. I will also say aerobic exercise as well as resistant or weight training exercise helps to reduce the ability that the body has to produce cancer cells. When I get people to do weightlifting exercise in the conquest of cancer, we always see a significantly higher percentage remiss their cancer much more rapidly than people who are not active with weightlifting exercises.